Hey guys, welcome back. It's Sports with Mono and Mono. It's August 1st, 2020, the summer that wasn't. And welcome back and thanks for joining us. And guess who's back?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show.
Let me guess, your name's Mono, right?
It is.
Yeah, right.
It is.
Welcome back.
Happy birthday, co-host.
Oh, thank you. To
August
me,
1st.
it's just another Saturday. Jerry Garcia's birthday as well. Yeah.
It
Dom
is.
DeLuise.
Dom DeLuise. All right, so these are interesting facts.
Not exactly sports related, but thank you for the birthday wishes. To me, it's not a big deal. But listen, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Sports are coming back, pandemic. There's a hurricane coming as if things couldn't get any worse.
There's a hurricane coming.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've heard it pronounced 5 different times by weathermen. It's Isaias or something like that. But it's bearing down. It's tearing apart the Bahamas.
Is this the effects of El Nino?
Yeah, we haven't heard that term in 10 years, right? But yeah, that's bearing down. It's killing the Bahamas, and Florida's right in its path, the whole East Coast. So, as if we needed it with the pandemic. And let's talk about the pandemic, Steve. And let's talk about it in terms of sports. Baseball, right? Let's lead with that, right?
Okay.
And of course, this first segment is sponsored by Coriano Trucking of West Haverstraw, New York. And we thank them again. Loyal, hope their family's doing well. But yeah, hey, the Miami Marlins, I guess that's the number one story in baseball, right? Besides the Yankees and Judge getting off to a awesome start.
Yeah, I mean, Corona, right? What else? So, obviously the Marlins, something happened where somebody
Stepped out
and infected... what is it? Up to 20, something like that.
It was 17 last I heard.
But the Brewers Cardinals got postponed the other night.
A couple Phillies guys got
Yankees, etc. So are we out of the woods with that yet? Not necessarily, but the show goes on.
Right.
And last night's slate went off without a hitch apparently. But it's still a concern out there.
Yeah, there was one game postponed, but they're going to make it up in a doubleheader on Sunday.
Right. So back to this shortened baseball season. So Major League Baseball
Getting shorter by the minute.
Well, they're going to have to make up doubleheaders, and they agreed to shorten them to 7 innings.
Right.
And the other thing, I thought of this yesterday. I think you and I were actually talking, or I was talking to somebody about the awards. Like, somebody can bat 400, somebody could be, I don't know, 10 and 1 as a pitcher with 0.93 earned run average. My thought is now, instead of these asterisks, there shouldn't be any freaking awards this year.
Exactly.
None.
I agree.
0.
I agree.
Crown a World Series champion. That's it. You want to crown an MVP of the World Series? I'm for it. But I'm not going to sit here and debate if this guy batted 408 in 60 games and sit here and have a a conversation and compare it to Ted Williams, a debate.
Right.
I don't think so.
Of course not. Of
So,
course not.
but we'll see what happens.
And
with that.
conversely, I think I made a comment last week when you were on assignment that, it takes Gary Sanchez 60 games to start hitting. He could hit 048.
Well, I didn't see what he did last night, but he was 0.00 going into last night.
That's my point.
Dirty Sanchez. That's my new nickname.
Of course, he had a couple of passed balls already in the start of the season. He wants to lead the league again. Thinks that's a bargaining chip when it comes to his new contract, which has got to be up.
The Yankees are off to a good start, though. They beat the Red Sox last night. I think they're 5-1 now. Jordan Montgomery pitched last night. It's nice to see. He came back from Tommy John surgery.
What was the final last night?
I think it was 4-1 or 5-1.
Judge hit one.
Aaron Judge hit another one.
Number 4? Wow.
So he's off to a real solid start.
Is this a contract year for him? Because, when you're talking about these other guys, Mookie Betts getting 350, right?
No, he's not nowhere near that.
Well, this is his 4th season with the Yankees, right?
Yeah, but
What's the rookie deal, 5?
They gave them some raises. So, Judge, I think, is making like $6 million now. right? So he's still technically in that rookie or
But he's in line for
his
Mookie
first
Betts
5-year
money,
thing before he's eligible. So the Yankees are
Could
doing
he possibly break Trout's $400 million contract?
Right.
They're going to pay him.
Are you kidding?
But you know they're going to pay him.
You're
right?
joking, right?
What, that it's not going to happen, or it's possible it happens?
Okay. What's Aaron Judge now? About 26, 27 years old? Tops?
If that, right? Yeah.
26?
Right.
All right, Aaron. You give me 60 homers and 130 RBIs and so on, and you bring some titles to me. We'll talk about a contract over $300 million.
Right. Okay.
Stay on the field. Also, show me that you're not injury prone.
Well,
like
that's the
happened.
whole thing with him. You know, we know the potential is there and so forth. And this guy's on fire. And by the way, Steve, talking about the Yankees, I watched Garrett Cole.
Yeah, it was 5-1 the final last night.
He's pitched twice already for the Yankees, and I watched him. He is as good as advertised. I mean, right now, and I never really seen him pitch a full game. I watched him pitch 2 games. He's unhittable. Is he worth 350? I guess. I don't know. But right now, he's up there with Scherzer as the top 2 pitchers in baseball.
He's up there. There's no question, no doubt.
He looks unbelievable to me.
I mean, he beat the Nationals against Scherzer in the opener,
Right.
but that was a rain-shortened 6-inning affair, and he pitched against the Orioles. So let's temper our
Enthusiasm.
I
know.
Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to have Garrett Cole.
No question. But I'm telling you, I watched him pitch, and I like watching a pitcher pitch just as much as a hitter hit. This guy's really awesome. He is awesome. And the Yankees are loaded. So, they're going to the playoffs, no question about it, right? I mean, 60-game season. What are the Yankees going to be, 48-12?
No,
You don't think that it could go that lopsided in 60-game season?
I'm not going to do the math right now, but the best teams in Major League Baseball, the best of the best, lose 62 pretty much every year. So
I'm only talking about a 60-game season.
I can see them going 40-20. I could see them getting 20 games over 500.
Okay.
And again, it's all about injury.
Yep. But I wanted to talk about something in baseball, like this whole thing, and you and I have beaten this to death, and I still can't believe there was some electronic thing on Jose Altuve, but the cheating thing, and now they're throwing at him. The Joe Kelly thing was pretty funny. I mean, you knew he was going at it. He's that kind of a pitcher.
Somebody was going to go at him, and it was just a matter of time. And I got no problem with Kelly doing what he did.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not advocating
throwing at a guy's head. Of course not. We're not talking about that.
But the old school of Bob Gibson type of thing, or Don Drysdale.
Get off my plate.
Those two were probably the biggest. You don't screw with me.
You lean over that plate, you're going to lean back on the next pitch or get hit in the head. Right.
But it was inevitable that.
Is this going to continue? Is this going to be a constant thing with these guys? Bregman's got to get up every time and wonder if some guy's going to throw at his head because he got caught up in a cheating scandal?
Well, before Corona, it was February, spring training, right? We talked about it. We said, this is going to happen. We
knew about it.
Well, you even made the comment that we're going to be bench clearing brawls in spring training.
Yep.
Right? So I'm not surprised by this. And is it over? No. And nobody's forgotten that they're still the World Series champions, or that title has not been rescinded. Okay. So they really,
a mere technicality.
Outside of losing a couple draft picks and A.J. Hinch gets fired, I get it. Is that really, did the penalty equal the crime? I don't think so.
I know. And like we said, if Altuve doesn't hit, 30 home runs and stuff, then maybe it was something that he knew the pitches were coming. But I think he's still an unbelievable player. But they got a target on their back, and it's going to be on their back forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
But I don't understand why you're still doubting the fact that he probably didn't have a buzz around him.
I don't know.
With today's technology, you're in IT, for Christ's sake.
I know, but it just it almost boggles my mind to even think that really happened.
That's what it's the same.
I can go with the Tom garbage can banging on it, whatever, but
it's the same thing as the steroids.
All right.
Right? The cheater is always one step ahead.
Yep.
They catch up with the test, they find something else. A cream. Barry Bond, that type of thing.
Right.
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 So
Yep.
that's my analogy.
I got you. But it's good to see baseball. Actually, I drove up purposely, but there's no baseball. Where's the little leaguers today? They're not playing baseball today?
No, there's no rec. The travel teams are playing, but they typically play at night.
Because there's a 10 field complex in Oakland, and there was not a baseball player to be found.
Well, they play at night, but it's just the travel teams right now.
Okay.
At least there's some baseball going on here.
Yep. All right, so listen, let's move on. What else is coming back, right? Hockey starts today. You said the Rangers dropped the puck at 12 o'clock?
That is correct. The Rangers will be playing the Carolina Hurricanes.
And this
in
is
2.5
a 3 out of
hours.
5 series, right?
These are the play-in games.
Right.
So it's 3 out of 5, and the winner advances.
We'll be down to 12 teams in 5 games from now,
Same
right?
thing, East-West, a bubble out in...
Toronto and Edmonton.
Yep.
Right? And so far, so good as far as corona testing. I think the NHL is 0%.
Well, I think it goes to even the NBA. I think the bubble environment is probably the best thing. And, I don't know what the NFL is going to do, because if Major League Baseball is outdoors and they're having, right now, some positives, I don't understand why the NFL, I hope at least they're considering doing the same thing, an AFC, NFC site, West, East, whatever it may be. And listen, if the game's got to be Thursday at 2 o'clock, the Cardinals are playing the Rams or something. Okay, at 5 o'clock, the Dolphins and
Why are
and
they
the Bills.
talking about altering this thing and doing that kind of neutral?
It should be
bubble
under
type thing?
consideration.
I don't think it's practical though in the NFL for some
Why?
reason.
What's the difference?
Because at least in Walt Disney World, you got 100,000 basketball courts they can do it. But where do you got a place where there's 10
dome
football
stadium.
field? Right, but look how many games have to be played.
Then they play it throughout the week. I mean, they have to make these adjustments.
I'm not dismissing.
It's not going to
that
be
it's-
every Sunday and fit in all these games in one site.
Right.
I'm just saying these
And
are
we'll get to the
precautions
NFL in a
that
second, but like I said, it seems to be working in the NHL, right? And
it is, and it's working in the NBA too.
Yeah.
For the most part, outside of somebody, quote unquote, going to get his Chinese food at the
At the strip club.
front door.
At the strip club.
Or Lou Williams going home for a funeral, but he had to go get those wings at the strip club.
Right. He had to stop and pick up some takeout from his
The
strip club.
best wings, Jerry. The best.
Exactly. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to the NHL, to be quite honest with you. I know the NBA, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but got to give you kudos. You talked about that Panarin for the Rangers, and he's up for the MVP.
Yeah, but he's not going to get it. I mean, he'll probably finish.
Because the other guy's got 100 and something points.
Yeah,
right?
he'll finish top 3.
He's down in the final 3.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But he'll finish 3.
But you're right. He's an awesome player.
Yep.
And I wanted to say, because I was looking, and the Rangers have 3 goalies.
Right?
Right? So is this finally the time they say to King
But I'm
Henrik?
sure the 2 goalies.
And I put that in quotes because you know my thoughts on that. He shouldn't have the King title till he won a Stanley Cup. But his day's numbered.
Well, I'm sure the 2 backup goalies don't even make what he makes in a game check.
Right.
They don't make a year what he makes in a game check.
Shesterkin and Georgiev, right?
That's right.
Which one do you think is going to be the guy going forward? Who's going to be the next Mike Richter for the New York Rangers?
Shesterkin.
You do? Yeah?
I do. I like Georgiev, but he's going to be kind of like Cam Talbot, where Cam Talbot, we traded to Edmonton, got whatever. We got some value for him. He was good. He had a good backup run to Lundqvist during the Stanley Cup. And I think Shesterkin is the future. Georgiev has been more than serviceable, but I think he is worthy of being a starting goalie.
Right.
And, only one can be the starting goalie.
Well, I got to tell you, one of our fans, David Enlick, lives up in New York State somewhere. Big Islanders fan. And he says, are you guys going to mention that they signed I can't even think of his name now, that one of the best goalies. He's going to be their future goalie if Shesterkin is to the Rangers, this guy. Do you know his name? But they signed him, and he's supposed to be the next great goaltender.
Right.
So I got to throw out some kudos to the Islander fan, David, and he says we don't talk about them enough. I said we've talked about the Islanders. They're a good up and coming team, right?
Yeah, the Islanders are nothing wrong with them.
I'm looking forward to the hockey season, and the puck, like you said, drops at noon today. So we'll talk about that next week. Let's talk about football, Steve, because you said that's a theory I didn't think of. I think it may be too late in the game to even orchestrate some sort of a...
The Islanders, the prospect is Ilya Sorokin.
Right.
And he comes very highly touted. So is he the next Billy Smith?
You know what? It's so funny that you said that because I had a conversation with him and I said, until you win a Stanley Cup, you're not considered the greatest goalie. He goes, so that means Billy Smith is one of the great goalies? I said, yes, as far as I'm concerned.
Are you kidding? Billy Smith has got 4 Stanley Cups.
He was like Rivera is to the Yankees in postseason.
Right, but they had the dynamic duo of Billy Smith and Chico Resch. I mean,
it was awesome.
But Billy Smith, man, you came in that crease. We talked about Don Drysdale and Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
Billy Smith would chop your head off.
You get a hatchet job for sure. But listen, good luck. Rangers dropped the puck.
I don't know. I don't even know who I'm going to say is probably the top favorite to win this. But the Colorado Avalanche in the West are pretty good. Edmonton is pretty good.
Yeah, they got a lot of good talent. Connor David.
Out of the East, the Flyers were pretty much red hot. The Capitals, I never discount.
Yep.
But any team, again, it's a tournament, really, pretty much, I say at this point. So
what can they, the max, the guy the Stanley Cup winner is going to have to play, 28 games or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, first series you said is 3 out of 5, but then they're all game 7s kind of thing, right?
But they got fresh legs.
They do. So listen, let's talk about football. And, our football segment sponsored by Lynch Motors of Manchester, Connecticut. And been a loyal supporter of Sports with Mono and Mono for a long time, and we thank them. But football, you're right, your theory about it, but let's talk about some bits and pieces. Joe Burrow signs, right? All but one, I think, number 1 picks are signed, right?
Okay.
So they're paying these guys big money. The signing bonuses are unheard of, for these rookies now.
No.
Would Burrow get it? Something $20+ million for a signing bonus.
Okay, but it's not the Sam Bradford 7-year, $198
right,
million.
a Matt Castle type contract. Right, I get it.
Get out of here, man.
But we're looking forward to Burrow playing. You and I, you were on his bandwagon from the start. I was a little suspect, but I couldn't have been more impressed last year. But going to the Bengals, I hate the Bengals. So, but could he thrive there? Yeah, they got some talent there.
Yeah, well,
they got some talent.
He's going to have a tough rookie year.
Most rookies do, right?
That's a fact.
Right.
Outside of, a few exceptions, but
right.
Forget about it. He's in Cincinnati.
Yep. But the money they're throwing, I mean, these guys haven't, they haven't even played, and, maybe the season's in jeopardy. Joey Bosa gets that kind of money. He's been kind of a disappointment for me, to be quite honest with you. I mean,
I disagree.
I think his younger brother is going to be phenomenal. He's going to even make more than they just signed him. But
I disagree.
He held out. He was injured. He hasn't broken out like I thought he would.
He's had a couple injuries. Joey Bosa's what, 26? I'll lock up Joey Bosa.
All right. Well, they did. Like I said, they're throwing a lot of money around.
But the other thing is, the big story is the guys opting out, especially the Patriots. The Patriots are getting
decimated by
they're leading the league in opt-outs, that's for sure.
And these are some solid key players for them too.
Yeah, so, Marcus Cannon was there starting.
Patrick Chung, he's out,
and Dante Hightower is a big piece. And believe me, I have zero sympathy for the New England Patriots. Zero.
Yeah.
And of course, they got Cam Newton. But Coach Belichick said the quarterback job is wide open.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Could be him or Jared Stidham, right?
Yeah, it'll be Cam Newton.
Okay. Well, listen, who besides Patrick Mahomes, obviously probably the marquee quarterback in the league right now, is when you talk about quarterbacks, and it's just crazy to think about Burrow coming in, and now Tua's coming in, and
Well, Tua just got medically cleared, and he's starting to practice.
right. But talking about quarterbacks, right? Besides, like I said, besides Mahomes, it's Lamar Jackson, right? And he had a great year, and we know how talented he is.
MVP.
He wants Antonio Brown to come to that team, who just got suspended for 8 games for conduct.
Yeah, for all the crap that's coming to him.
I forgot that was even pending, right? So he can't sign with anybody anyway.
Yeah,
But
I can see him signing with Baltimore.
why would Lamar Jackson want to have that kind of cancer into the clubhouse? Isn't it? That's his team. Let him run it. And he thinks Antonio Brown is an answer?
Yeah,
Really?
I think he's actually a missing piece for them. Listen, you know my feelings on Antonio Brown.
Mine
Let's
too.
not discount this guy's playmaking ability.
He's done though.
I don't
he
think
played
so.
9 years for the Steelers.
So what?
What's the lifespan of a wide receiver?
Well, he's been resting and assaulting moving trucks and everything else. So
I wouldn't want anything to do with him. And I think Lamar Jackson. That's
he
his
comes
team.
on the cheap. He sits for 8 games. You get Antonio Brown for the second half of the season.
I can't really. I'm
Yeah.
surprised to hear this.
What? Why are you surprised at anything in the NFL?
I guess maybe I'm starting to ask myself the same questions. But Antonio Brown, we've seen this. It can't work. And I can't see Harbaugh even signing up for this to bring him.
I think Harbaugh's a pragmatic guy.
They were 1 game away from the Super Bowl kind of thing.
I can see this happening.
Okay. Listen, it's like we talked about. It's Daniel Jones' sophomore year, and now I'm hoping we see Saquon Barkley kind of break out, because I think he's got. And I know you're going to say, "Easy fella, easy fella." He's got Barry Sanders talent. He's very similar to Barry Sanders.
Well, the Giants got a big blow losing Nate Solder, who's going to hold out or sit out.
But that's why our number 1 draft pick was Andrew Thomas,
Exactly.
right? And they signed him, and he's getting a ton of signing bonus money too.
Well, what are you surprised? These guys are first-round picks. Come on.
No, the money though. I'm saying,
The money again.
the owner's got to be saying we
less,
haven't made a dime, and
it's less than what the Sam Bradfords of the world will make.
All right. So listen, the NFL starting's coming back when the NBA opened up past couple games. Ratings are high, camera angles are good. It looked okay. And these were barn burners. These guys are scoring. They're playing gym basketball, right? This isn't arena basketball. This is gymnasium basketball. 133, like all-star game scores, right?
This is some Rucker Park stuff in the city on the blacktop.
Right, but we saw exactly what we expected to see, right? Marquee game was Lakers-Clippers, right? Because that's causing a frenzy, bringing people back to basketball and so forth. And it was a great game, but of course, I could have said the Lakers will win by 3, and they won by 3 or 2 or whatever it was.
Right.
But LeBron James's league, it's his team, it's his league, he's the face of it all, sitting in almost a throne-like chair at the press conferences. Did you see that?
He's the king.
He is the king. That's what they call him.
No, Hendrik Lundqvist is the king.
No, he's not.
There can't be 2 kings.
Excuse me.
But the NBA is back.
It's back.
The Rockets last night was a good game against the Mavs. Harden now moved up second all time on the Rockets scoring list.
Yep, passing former Niagara graduate Calvin Murphy.
That is correct. Little shameless plug for your alma mater.
Hey, why not? What else we got?
You know how many times he said it in the last since he graduated Niagara. And Calvin Murphy went to Niagara.
And I told you I met him. He's a class act. Anyway.
Hubie Brown and Frank Layden.
But listen, all of the points Harden's been scoring the last 7 years, this guy's been averaging 35 points a game, and to only finally just pass Calvin Murphy, that says something. And, of course, the number one Houston Rockets scorer of all time would be?
The Dream.
You're right. He was awesome. Phenomenal.
He was
Phenomenal.
outstanding.
But this guy Harden can shoot, but till he gets a ring, he's going to be put in the same category as Henrik Lundqvist. And we'll move on. Listen, college football. Looks like games are coming back. Most of them are going to be conference-only schedules. So I saw this thing. There's some of these all-time rivalries, right?
Yeah.
Games that have been played, like Georgia Tech, been 75 years in a row.
95, I think.
Something, yeah. And Oklahoma, Texas, or whatever it is, you know, these kind of games aren't going to happen. But college football is coming back, and I got to say, the X factor for me with college football coming back, as opposed to the NFL, is this is a campus environment. If people are going to come, there's going to be socializing. Social distancing's not going to be practiced at all. I think there's more of a vulnerability in college football, and I'm a little surprised that they kind of everybody just said, "Hey, we'll play a 10-game schedule." Notre Dame, you can go to the ACC, you know, and possibly win the ACC championship. Crazy, right? You don't see the population explosion on a college campus.
It's not
something to be concerned about.
If they allow the students back on campus, you know and I know they're not going to social distance. It's going to be a keg party somewhere. Okay?
3 a day.
Number one.
College campus. Right.
Number two, I'm not convinced that the season will happen.
I think it's going.
I know.
They gave a green flag. I mean,
As of now. Rutgers University, the whole football team has been quarantined for 2 weeks.
Right.
Why? Because for a couple of the players, what they do? They went to a keg party.
Went out for takeout.
Right.
Right.
And again, the schedule has been slashed. Conference only games, things like that. There's we talked about the Ivy League, the Patriot League. There's certain leagues that aren't even playing, and Notre Dame going to the ACC. I mean, Notre Dame is in the ACC for all other sports. Obviously, they're an independent in football.
Always been.
So the Notre Dame schedule, I think they're only playing 7 games now, 7 or 8 max. The Navy game was canceled. We talked about.
Yeah. That was supposed to be in Ireland, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And so Notre Dame, are they going to win that ACC? No way. Clemson. So Clemson is actually playing at Notre Dame if the game goes off.
Right.
And I would say right now Notre Dame would be at least a 12-point underdog, 8 points. Clemson's going to kill Notre Dame.
Yeah. Kill? I don't know.
Yes, because they always kill Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're bigger, faster, stronger.
Oof, okay.
They are.
Okay.
My other point about college sports in general, one of my best friends from high school is a guy named Kevin Wilson. And Kevin he wrote a letter. His daughter is a soccer player at Susquehanna University, which is a Division III.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Okay.
Division III. And her season has been canceled. Right?
Right.
So she's going to be a sophomore, so obviously we've talked about how the seniors,
were affected by the stoppage.
How it affects us, meaning, we have sympathy that
I got you.
Anybody loses their senior year.
Yeah.
But Kevin wrote a letter. I'm not going to read it, but just paraphrasing. It's all about the money. The only reason they're playing, it's all about the money.
You've been consistent on that point, and I agree with you.
And you know what? I actually spoke to Kevin because he asked me to bring that up on the show. And I said, so what has the feedback been from the president of Susquehanna? And he wrote a letter to the president, to the athletic director, to the coaches.
What, asking that the season be played or not?
Looking for an explanation as to
where the program's going.
Why aren't we playing?
Okay.
When the NFL is playing, and when we talk
NBA and hockey, everything's opening up.
Right. And of course the standard answer is,
erring on the side of caution.
Right.
And
the health of the students is for first and foremost. But
is that wrong?
Let's be real. Mm-hmm. It's about the money. That's all it is here, okay?
Because, listen, a small school like Susquehanna has the potential for, sports to be cut, overall. We've seen that happen across the NCAA all over the place, right?
So, to be fair, as far as tuition goes, they are prorating a month because I don't think the kids are showing up now till September, late September, something like that.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure the colleges all across America are cringing at the fact that they have to prorate anything.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Money-wise. But back to college football, it's about the money. That's why they're playing. If it's about the well-being of the student athletes, they wouldn't be playing.
I guess. Yeah, you're right. You've been
So I wanted to
consistent
bring
all
that.
along,
I wanted to
Steve.
bring that up. I told Kevin I would, and we'd love some feedback from you, from our audience. Send us an email at sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com.
Yeah.
But let's not be naive here. It's about the money. And even like the small leagues,
But his daughter loses a year playing, but
Yeah.
she doesn't lose her eligibility if she wanted to. She still
She's lost a
maintains
year.
that, right? Yeah. And,
Yeah, but she loses a year.
it's what we talked about. The impact.
They're
it's
not
going
going
to
to redshirt, the whole sophomore class.
Yeah.
Just not going to do it.
I know.
Right?
No, it's a great topic. Listen, I wish the best for Kevin, and I hope it works out because it sucks that people aren't get that college experience. And
But to his credit, he's not just sitting back and saying, "Oh, okay, got a letter, dear Mr. Wilson, sorry your season's been canceled. Your daughter's right," and
he wants an answer, and
he wants
deserves
an
it.
answer,
and he deserves an answer.
and he is adamant about forcing this issue and getting, a better response.
Excellent. I mean, more parents would take that kind of a measure and say, "What is going to happen? We need to plan here.
Right.
Things are crazy."
Right.
But listen, all the sports, like I said, the PGA Championship, right? Golf has been played. I got to be honest with you. I've kind of enjoyed watching golf. The no fans at the golf tournament hasn't really.
Get in the hole.
Right. Oh, the jackass that yells "Baba Booey" every time. I mean,
Outside of that, I don't see any difference.
yeah, it's been pretty good. And
Except for the crowd around the Masters green or something like that.
right, the Arnie's Army, Tiger Woods thing kind of thing.
Like a major championship environment.
Well, major championship is next week. It's at TPC at Harding Park, just in San Francisco. So the PGA first major, looking forward to that, right? All the golfers are playing, right?
Well, I have an update.
You got to think of the favorites, right? The McIlroys, the Koepkas, right? You and I wouldn't bet anybody other than Brooks Koepka, until he proves, things aren't working out
I
for him.
think Brooks' knee has been barking this year. So,
But Justin Thomas seems like he's getting his game back. And,
as long as he's got his father on the bag, I think Justin.
his caddy had a dehydration
I know.
problem.
I actually thought it was a great story because I think obviously I missed the show last week. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Listen, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Your dad jumps on the bag on the 13th hole or something.
Yeah, it was like at the
the
time.
caddy's about to pass out.
Yeah, it was at the time. Yeah.
But I also have a little update because when we talked about Tiger Woods before the Memorial and we had the debate about will he win another 2 or 3.
Yep.
I did talk to our resident guru, George Breen.
Okay.
He thinks he'll win 2 more.
Well, this is a question I have this
Not
discussion
3.
with.
But 3 he comes up short.
Yep.
But 2 more.
Okay. And you said you think
I think
he's got at least 2 left in the
I
bag.
think he's got 2.
Okay.
Meaning I can't discount it. And of course, Jim Smith, our loyal listener, sent a nice email with a debate about Woods. He's adamant that no chance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yep. But listen, PGA next weekend. Looking forward to that. It should be awesome. And horse racing is going on. So things are, I don't want to say coming back to normal, but things are on the horizon. And, Saratoga's been racing with no fans, and it's still as beautiful as ever. So, listen, send us an email about other sports or other things that you guys think about coming back and what you're looking forward to and so forth, because it's better than not having sports at all, right?
Yeah, well, I tell you, you can wake up, turn on ESPN, and you can see highlights of Major League Baseball, NBA, starting today, the NHL playoffs.
Yep.
It's not bad. And here we are on August 1st.
Yep. And listen, let's just hope
And the
this.
NFL, is going to be
Yep.
starting up.
Let's just hope this pandemic eases up a little bit, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and this society's got some problems right now, and pandemic is one of them, and all those kind of social.
I just hope Dr. Fauci, is still working on Corona instead of throwing out, first pitches.
Embarrassing.
I gotta say, it could be. It's up there.
I was watching it live.
It could be the all-time
and I said,
worst.
I go, this is your chance, Dr. Fauci, and he pulled a 50 cent and threw it into the dugout. It was horrible.
Well, my first observation about that was, Doc, what is he? 360 years old, Fauci?
Oh, I don't know. No.
So where he was standing, he was not on the rubber. He was on the downslope of
Because
the
he
mound.
couldn't throw it 60 feet 6 inches.
He
That's
couldn't
why.
throw
No.
it 10 feet
It
6 inches.
It was his moment to shine, and listen, he's a better doctor than he is a pitcher. Let's give him that. But I told him, this is going to haunt you. This is going to be.
This is a blooper.
This is going to be the late night comedy shows fodder for forever, and it was.
Let's say he just lowered the bar for first pitches.
But listen, thanks for letting us spew about the sports coming back, because it's exciting to us. That's what we do. But please send us an email and give us some comments on it. Steve, we always end up, with our third sponsor is?
De Filippi's Bakery out of Monticello, New York.
Yep. Has the GoFundMe project going and so forth that she's been doing. It's
I think going well.
excellent.
She's been very busy.
Excellent. I'm starving for one of those blueberry pies, so see if you can make that
Well,
happen.
if you drive up the thruway, you go to exit.
Not around the corner for me, but it's worth it if you get there.
Right.
So if you're up in that area in Monticello, it's awesome. It's
Right.
awesome.
I'm hopeful to get an update from her soon.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been very busy.
I bet. So listen, unfortunately, we always end up with our final segment. It's notable passings, right? And these are people that you and I and most of our listeners know had some sort of an impact, whether it was sports or entertainment or whatever.
Right?
And I got to say, who was our marquee? It happened right after last week's show, so I didn't get to mention Regis Philbin. And we loved Regis. It's your middle name. Probably named after Regis Philbin. And we don't know that for sure. But
I will not confirm or deny that that's my middle name.
it is.
It's been a secret for 55 years.
Well, it's out now.
Yeah.
This is an honor of Regis. So, of course, this is an opportunity for Steve and I, who thought we each did the better Regis Philbin impression. But my favorite Regis line, when he was on Seinfeld and Kramer was on, he goes, "This guy's bonkos. Did I tell you? This guy's bonkos." So that's my little Regis. Go ahead, give your Regis.
No.
Okay.
I don't do impressions on demand.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
But look at this.
But Regis was a Notre Dame guy.
Big time New York guy.
New York
through
guy.
and through. Cardinal Hayes High School.
Right. A New Yorker through and through. I liked Regis. I liked his personality. And, he lived a good long life. And, we talked about Hugh Downs,
Right.
3 weeks ago or something. Regis has got to be in the top 5. Or
No, Regis is number one all-time most on television.
He is.
Regis Philbin.
Okay.
That's a fact.
It is. Right.
So this guy had a great career. I
thought
love
Hugh
watching
Downs-
the old highlights of him. Joey Bishop was his buddy.
Yeah.
Remember Joey Bishop?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But Regis was, he was funny. He was funny. He was on, and I saw they did some clips. They put on his last show, and they did some clips of actors. Like I even said, Ben Affleck did a great Regis Philbin impression.
Dana Carvey is the
Daryl
best.
Hammond, used to do him on.
Dana Carvey did the best Regis.
Yep. But Regis, hey, rest in peace, man. He really was awesome.
Absolute notable passing. From
Everybody
Regis Philbin.
loved him, and you're right. He was a big Notre Dame. They're burying him at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big sports fan, and all around good guy.
Yeah. So that's a notable passing
Oh, yeah.
in sports
No doubt.
and entertainment. There's somebody, and you gave me the name actor, been in 1,000 different things. John Saxon.
Saxon. Look him up.
And that's what you said. I go, I can't picture the name, didn't ring a bell, but I saw the picture. I said, this guy's been in 1,000 things. Columbo's and Charlie's Angels and movies.
1,000 things.
Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee.
Right, he was Bruce Lee's nemesis in Enter the Dragon.
Look up his resume. It's quite impressive.
Always playing like a crime boss or a mafia soldier,
gangster type guy.
Right. Everything from Fantasy Island, I would guarantee, to Love Boat, to...
Look up his picture and you'll go, I've seen him 1,000 times.
TV movies, mainly, that type of thing.
Yep.
So, notable passing, John Saxon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, listen, this was kind of a notable as well. Herman Cain, right?
Herman
Former
Cain.
presidential candidate.
Correct.
Founder of the Godfather Pizza
That's exactly right.
Empire.
Yes.
And passed away from coronavirus, of all things, right?
Yeah.
But I actually liked him.
I like Herman Cain myself.
Me
I thought
too.
Herman Cain was a good guy and came on the scene, about 15 years ago or so, and that type of thing. But that's a notable passing.
You bet.
He lived a good life, and
sure
he
did.
was a good man.
Yeah. And a couple from the world of sports. I don't even know, you and I didn't talk about it. Lou Henson passed away.
Coach Henson.
You know, he's had quite a long career. I mean, he was in his 90s, I think, right?
Yeah. I remember him. He was coach of Illinois. I think his best team was like Kendall Gill and Nick Anderson on that team. I think.
Yeah.
I think they got to the Final Four, if I'm not mistaken.
But Arizona too, right? I mean,
no, that was Lute Olson.
Lute Olson. I'm sorry, I always got
Lou
those two
Henson
mixed up.
was Illinois.
Yeah, he was.
And he was a Big Ten coach, like a Judd Heathcote guy.
Got to be top 10 all time.
Gene Cady, Bobby Knight, those guys coached against each other at least for 15, if not 20 years.
You got to be in the top 10 all time wins for NCAA coaches.
Right, when you're 99 or whatever you were, I would think so.
He probably coached till he was 79 or 80. You're right. But, that's a notable from the world of basketball.
There was one I think we missed a couple weeks ago, and I missed the show last week. I don't know if we covered it, but Rick Reed, umpire.
Umpire, and I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, 70 years old.
Yep.
He was a name, and behind the plate, Rick Reed, or first base, Rick Reed.
Yeah.
So he's notable for our baseball.
Rick Reed
fans.
and Ron Luciano and Garcia and all these guys.
Richie Garcia.
Richie, yeah. So,
Bill Kunkel.
yeah. Hey, while we're on that, John McNamara, Johnny Mac, coach, manager of the Boston Red Sox.
You bet. So this is a notable passing for me. So I do have a poignant observation on Johnny Mac.
Go ahead.
So obviously went to Boston University. Johnny Mac was the Red Sox manager for pretty much my whole tenure there.
Good.
Obviously the '86 Red Sox. So I was a junior, and I had a buddy, whatever. So we're in Boston. So Saturday, we get tickets for Shea Stadium that night, Game 6 of the World Series, the Bill Buckner game. Right? We drive down, and Bobby Crabtree, Carr Barron, like Mike Lynch, our loyal supporter. Anywho, sitting 10 rows behind the Red Sox dugout for this game. 10 rows.
For the actual ball when it went under Buckner's glove? You were 10 rows away.
No, I was on the Red Sox third base side.
Okay.
Right? So my observation is Roger Clemens started that game.
Yeah.
And Roger Clemens was throwing so hard. And this is when Roger Clemens was probably 25 or 26.
Right, we watched him pitch in the College World Series.
So I don't think there was any dispute about steroids because it really didn't even.
No, he was a lean guy back then.
So anyway, Johnny Mac comes out of the dugout. And so my viewpoint was McNamara's back, walking to Clemens. That was my vantage point. And he raises his right hand and waves in Calvin Schiraldi. And Clemens looked at him like, are you out of your mind? the Mets couldn't touch Clem. And when I tell you they couldn't touch him, they couldn't touch him.
That's what Johnny Mac's noted for.
But Johnny
making
Mac
that
made
change.
that decision to not. I'm not saying that was the be all end all, but that's one of my main memories of John McNamara, who was a really good guy too. He was well liked, well respected.
I'm sure you had a few beers with him in the Tees pub or something like that.
I had a few beers with some of the Red Sox.
I bet.
But rest in peace, Johnny Mac.
Yep. Good sports figure, right?
Yeah, he was 88 years old.
Yep. And listen, before we sign off, there was a personal note. A gentleman I used to work with for many years, very smart guy, young guy, 49, just passed away suddenly and so forth. I worked with him for many years. We had a good relationship, and he was a great guy, and has 2 daughters, and unfortunately he passed away. Darryl Swafford is his name.
Sorry to hear that.
So, like I said, Darryl and I knew each other very well, and this is what happens, and so forth. So I consider him a notable passing as well.
Okay. I do have a shout out.
Go ahead.
We end. So you know how I on the high school football scene I talked about Charles DePrima,
Yes.
quarterback at Ramapo,
Yep.
wound up being all North Jersey, etc. Win the state
Won like
championship.
26 straight games
Well,
or
they
something.
have, but I got news on Charles. He has signed with Harvard.
Ah, Harvard man.
He's going to be a Harvard man.
Okay, noise that they play Yale. Muffy.
In the game. Yale, Harvard.
Awesome.
Yeah, so happy for Charles. He's going Ivy, and obviously, great news.
And we'll be following his career closely on
yeah.
Sports with Mono and Mono.
Yep.
So, but listen, thanks for joining us, Steve. Welcome back. It's great to have you back.
It's great to be back.
And it's great to be with you guys next week. Send us an email in the meantime, sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
You got it.
Thanks.
Bye.